So this is not the time to be sensitive and to take things personally. When you are getting feedback on your offerings, your services, your products, you want to be using that to your advantage. Hi self-lovers, welcome back to Donderville, where we use self-care to manifest our best and happiest selves, lives, and homes. I am Donderella, and this is my real-time experiment using self-care to rewrite my self-love story and create my own version of happily ever after. So this video is about imposter syndrome, and it is probably very common and one of several untalked about topics amongst middle-aged women of color especially, but just late bloomers in general, and people who are finding themselves like in a place of being like almost there but not quite. So with this being an experiment, I consider myself my own test subject, and sometimes I feel like I am definitely like this experimental drug of self-care is working, and other times I feel like I'm in the control group and it's a placebo and it is just not quite giving what it's supposed to be giving. So sometime around August of this year, 2024, I found myself feeling like last year was great. I felt a ton of momentum in the direction of what I was intending to create, and then I hit like a plateau, and I started to feel like there were some things, some goals I set for myself, some that may have been ambitious and some that may have been more smart or realistic, were not going to happen, or were only going to happen with some forcing or pressure that may feel out of alignment and not on my path of least resistance. If you cannot tell, and if you are unfamiliar, I am a Abraham Hicks enthusiast, a follower of Esther Hicks, and someone who definitely believes in the law of attraction and being a lifelong student of intentional creation. So yeah, there was a point this year where I felt like my business, my ideals, my dreams are based upon using self-care to create the life of your dreams. And although I'm on the right track with several things, I am not holistically living the life of my dreams. So I started to feel like, who's going to buy into my programs or my offerings or my services if I myself am not quite there? And honestly, in the beginning, this whole thing, this documenting my lab results and my process, was about showing the during, the showing the getting there, not just when you're already there and when it's already worked, but showing like the process of how it feels and what it looks like when you're still working on yourself and still working on your ideal and still getting there. So I have to sometimes take a breath and stop and say, you know what, it's still working, it's still, all is still well, everything is working out for me, everything is always working out for me. But there are moments of frustration and disappointment and of rejection and all the other emotions that we don't like, all the contrasts that we tend to, run away from. So I wanted to record this video about imposter syndrome and creating social proof. So let's go. So for a late bloomer, that's a man or a woman, anybody who feels like they're not quite where they should be or where people expect them to be, overcoming imposter syndrome can feel challenging but particularly when you're trying to build social proof, and we'll go into more detail about what that is, while building your business or your brand or your offering, it can feel particularly challenging, but it is not impossible. It is absolutely achievable. And so I'm going to talk about how you can do that. And I am, of course, in the process of doing that myself and of using these tools and tips myself. So as always, I report and share how it's working for me. So the first tip or trick or tool is simply acknowledging your feelings. You have to recognize that imposter syndrome is totally common. Other people are going through the same thing, but sometimes realizing that you're not alone can be a big step in getting to a better place. Many successful individuals have definitely experienced imposter syndrome, and realizing that you're not by yourself can be reassuring. The second tip for overcoming imposter syndrome is practicing self-compassion. You want to be gentle with yourself. You want to recognize that everybody has a learning curve. Some are steeper and some are more flat, and it is absolutely okay to take your own personal time to overcome these challenges and trajectories. And in general, growth takes time. It is never instant. We've all seen the time lapses of nature, of sunsets, of all the beautiful things in life, and it looks instant, but it's not. The number 3 tool, trick, or tip for overcoming imposter syndrome is to shift your mindset and reframe negative thoughts. Challenge self-doubt by reframing your thoughts. Instead of thinking, I don't deserve this, try, I've worked hard and earned my place. Instead of seeing your age or late start as a disadvantage, view it as a wealth of experience that adds depth to your capabilities. Practice mindfulness. Techniques and practices like meditation and mindfulness can help you stay grounded and reduce anxiety about your capabilities. Visualize success. This is one of my favorites, and I actually merge it into the previous one, meditation. So a lot of my meditations start off just kind of general gratitude, clearing my mind, but they end up being a visualization of my ideal, and it is so much fun to put yourself in a place of detaching from the current reality and thinking about how you would love for it to be, what your ideal day as your ideal self looks and feels like. It is so amazing, and it actually helps you get there. Use visualization techniques to imagine yourself succeeding. This can help you build confidence and reduce fear. Engage in affirmations. Use positive affirmations daily to reinforce your worth and abilities. This can feel fake at first if you have struggled with self-worth and if you're still in a place of getting yourself to believe it, but repetition is key. Once you are in a practice of daily affirmations, it starts to feel more normal, it starts to feel more natural, and it starts to feel more believable. Simple statements such as I am capable, I am enough can drastically shift your mindset. So now let's get into social proof. So social proof is the idea that whatever you are selling, whether you're selling yourself as a brand, as a social influencer, whether you're selling a product or service, social proof is the idea that people want to buy into what you're offering because other people have, basically. It's kind of the follower mindset, it's kind of the the sheep mindset, but it's a necessary evil in the business world. If people look at your website or your social media and they don't see that other people have paid for your service or your products and gotten the results that you claim to offer, they're not going to feel safe putting their time and money and effort into what you're offering. So social proof is what they look at and see and say, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. If they got those results, I can get those results, and I want to spend my money on this. So the first thing that you want to do to start building social proof, if you don't already have some, sometimes a big following can serve as social proof alone, but you want to start getting like reviews and positive reviews and things like that. And the first thing is going to be to educate yourself continuously. So one thing that I've had to make sure of is that because I'm a lifelong student and I actually enjoy learning, I actually enjoy school, I have to make sure I'm not just getting certifications for the sake of a certification. You want to make sure you're focusing on that thing or those 3 things at the absolute most. If you're a Gemini or somebody who does well with managing multiple things at a time, you want to make sure at a maximum you're looking at 3 things at once, and that everything you're doing, including education and certifications and programs, are aligning with one of those 3 things. So invest in learning new skills or knowledge that are relevant to your interest. This can bolster your confidence and reinforce your expertise. Another way to build social proof in your business or brand is to seek out mentorship. So recently it was one of my goals, and it makes me feel better as I'm thinking of it now because it is something that I accomplished this year. I always wanted to have a mentor. So I have my mentors in my head. I have a couple of people who don't know that they're my mentors, but I look up to them. I follow the way they do life and business. But I wanted an official mentorship. So I found this program through HubSpot called Black at Inbound. And they had a mentorship program, and they matched you with a mentor according to your interests and your goals. And it maybe ran about, I feel like we had about 5 or 6 sessions over several months. So it was, you worked with your mentor according to your availability, and you set goals and you talked about them, and just really holds you to a higher level of accountability. And it was great for networking, and it just really spoke to several goals that you might have that will help you build social proof. So seeking out mentorship and finding mentors who inspire you, who are doing what you would like to be doing, or maybe it might even, if you find yourself in a very small niche of what your offering is, you might never find somebody who's doing exactly or who's done exactly what you want to do, but you will find people in that same tribe. So their guidance and reassurance can help you navigate your own path with confidence. Also, we have talked about this earlier, but it stands to be clearly said that you want to set SMART goals. You want your goals to be specific and measurable. You want achievable, realistic goals that are time-bound. So break your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Instead of saying, I want to be a millionaire, you might break that down into, okay, what do I need to make per month or per week or per year for that to be realistic? You want to celebrate the small wins. Every time you find yourself getting closer, you may not yet be a millionaire, but every time you've gotten a little bit closer or increased your income or your bank account or your savings, You want to celebrate that, and you don't want to do it with anything that takes you back out of that goal or spends a ton of money or resources, but you want to do it in a way that is the definition of self-care, which is anything that gets you closer to your ideal self and closes that gap between now and then. Document your progress and focus on your achievements. You might want to keep a journal to track your progress and your reflection. Seeing how far you've come can bolster your self-belief, and it'll also help you create a list of your accomplishments, skills, and positive feedback. Keep it handy so that you can remind yourself of your value when you are feeling discouraged or a little bit behind. Also, you want to celebrate your strengths. Acknowledge your strengths and how they've helped you navigate life. Write them down and refer to them when self-doubt creeps in. Focus on value. Concentrate on the value you provide to your customers or clients. This perspective can help you shift focus from self-doubt to service. Embrace and showcase your unique journey. Recognize that everyone's path is different. Your experiences and perspectives can provide valuable insights that others may lack. Share your learning experiences and challenges. This authenticity can resonate with others and build a connection. Be open about your journey and challenges. Authenticity can resonate with others and help you realize the value of your experiences. Connect with others. Start by engaging your audience. So surrounding yourself with positive, encouraging people who uplift you and remind you of your worth. It can sound like a no-brainer, but it can also be challenging in today's society. So if that means that you have a small number of friends as opposed to a big group, or a period of time where you feel like it's just you, as long as you are feeding into yourself and empowering yourself, that's what's important. Quality over quantity. Interact with your audience through Q&As, live sessions, or comments. Building a community can enhance your confidence. Engage with communities of like-minded individuals. Sharing experience can validate your feelings and help you realize you're not alone in your struggles. And collect feedback. Actively seek constructive feedback on your work. Positive responses can help you reinforce your competence and build social proof. So this is not the time to be sensitive and to take things personally. When you are getting feedback on your offerings, your services, your products, you want to be using that to your advantage. You want to take what people say, even if it's not good, as an opportunity to improve, to better offer something that people are willing and happy to pay for. Not say, oh, this person is being a hater, or oh, blah. I mean, sometimes people are, but sometimes you really are not stretching to the best of your ability, and you need to be able to determine that and make the appropriate moves to make yourself and your brand and your business better. Celebrate others' success. Celebrating peers and their achievements can shift your focus from comparison to collaboration. Let me say that again. Supporting and celebrating peers and their achievements can shift your focus from comparison to collaboration. So we've all heard about comparison and the devil that can be. You want to move from a place of comparison Everybody has your own journey, your own purpose. Yeah, your story may not look like somebody else's, but please believe there is a reason for that. And instead of comparing yourself to them, seek ways in which you can collaborate with them. And finally, but not all, of course, you want to limit social comparison. Please be mindful of how social media impacts your own self-perception. Curate your feed to follow positive, inspiring content. For example, if you come across something, it could be anything, it could be little in the eyes of others. If it makes you feel some type of way, block it, hide it, delete it. I can't stress this enough because we sometimes feel guilty or feel like, okay, this person follows me, so I should follow them. But if fighting and whatever it is upsets your spirit and that's what they post, it's not self-care. It's not helping you close that gap or get to that person you want to be or that life that you want to live if you're continuing to see this every day and have it feed into your spirit. So avoid comparing yourself to others, especially on social media. I can't even say it. And especially those who seem to have it all figured out, because we know how that goes. We know how the people that have this perfect image and seem to have all the answers and all the words. We've seen it over and over again. We've seen how their lives actually are. But just focus on your path and your progress. And by combining all of these strategies, you can work toward overcoming imposter syndrome. It's not easy and it's not fast, but it's definitely possible, and it's definitely something that you will do, something that will be a part of your journey to creating your ideal life and self at any point in life. And you'll look back and say, I can't believe I was, thinking that I was the only one feeling this way. I can't believe that I was feeling this way. I can't believe I was doubting myself. When you get to a point where you're like, I'm kind of the So embrace your journey, allow your experiences to empower you rather than hold you back. Sometimes I am in that place where I'm like, I'm old and it's too late and I'm not this and I'm not that. And other times I'm like, I'm fine and I'm sexy. And anybody who doesn't see that is bad. What are the words that aren't cuss words? They're stupid. I don't like to use that one either, but hey, if the shoe fits. So now let's talk about creating social proof for a new business, product, or service. So I'm gonna be looking at my notes. I did some research for this. So what is social proof? It's crucial for building trust and credibility. Did I say that right? Credibility. Here are several effective strategies to help you establish social proof. Start small. Begin by sharing testimonials from satisfied clients or users. So for example, when I started my Self-Care 101 online course, I had a group of friends and family who I gifted the course to, and I ran the course with them, and then their payment was to record a video, a testimonial, saying like what the program did for them. So do something like that and use that as a low stake platform to build confidence, not only in yourself, but to build your clients' confidence in your brand. You can use case studies, statistics, and data. So you can Google or find detailed cases and studies that showcase how products or services similar to yours have benefited customers. You can include specific results and testimonials, and you want to share compelling data that highlights similar products' effectiveness. such as customer satisfaction rates or success stories. Another thing that speaks to what I mentioned before is to offer free trials or samples. So allow potential customers to try your product or service for free. Positive experiences can lead to testimonials and word of mouth referrals. So in the beginning, you might feel like, oh, I need to make money and I want to make it now, but you have to kind of give your services away. You don't want to continue to do this, but in order to start developing some social proof before you get those first few paid customers and clients, will require you to give some things away. And it'll help you practice as well. As you're delivering this product or service, you start to see some gaps in your offerings and you can start to improve them. You can run contests or challenges. Any contest or challenge usually comes with, if I've shown you how to fill this in 11 days and you buy my product or service, then I will show you how to just fill above in, whatever number of days. So hosting a contest that encourages users to showcase how they use your product, it generates buzz and creates user-generated content. And so that's going to be, other people advertising for you and posting you to their platforms and building your business and their business in the meantime. Building a community that kind of comes as a result of all the aforementioned tips. Creating a social media group or forum where users can share experiences and tips. A vibrant community is going to serve as powerful social proof. That is definitely the truth, and that's where authentic networking comes into place, because you can fake all day with people. And as I've said before on different platforms, I am a fan of faking it until you make it, but there are a couple of places where you cannot fake it, and networking is going to be one of them. You're going to have to eventually get to a point where you are being authentic, even if that means connecting with the other socially awkward introverts. You're still going to have to get to a place where you're being yourself and you're making connections with people who are like, do you hate to be here too? Yeah, let's talk about how we can get what we need to get done without doing this again. Engage with early adopters. So those people who, whether they're friends or family or the people who were there from day one, encourage them to share their experiences on social media and other platforms and just really foster relationships with them. Keep that going. Don't forget about them. Don't say, oh, we ran this program once with them and now I'm done. Really keep that engagement going, because they're going to be key moving forward. Collect customer testimonials, of course, using that feedback on your website, your social media, and marketing materials. And create and participate in review platforms. So Google reviews are probably the one I use most often, but there's a ton of them, Yelp and other ones, industry specific sites. But respond to the reviews for your business, and also just do reviews on other people's businesses, and it gains you visibility. People see that you do reviews, and then you'll start to notice that when you review a product or service, people take you seriously, and you'll start hearing from the businesses, and people don't want to make you mad, or they're like, okay, this person is fair and reasonable and they're not just hating on everything. They tend to try to give a positive review, but when something isn't right, it just isn't right, and they'll answer to you, and you'll notice you'll start getting better service as well across the board. Use trust badges and certifications. So any relevant certifications that you earn or can get easily, just look into the different certifications that apply to your niche or your business or your brand, and seek those out. Some of them are free, some of them are paid, and some of them are not as expensive as you might think, and they build trust and credibility. And you can, post the little icon on your website or your social media, and it makes a pretty big difference that you took the time to certify yourself or get that credibility for your industry. So, in general, building your self confidence as a late bloomer while simultaneously creating a strong foundation of social proof, especially if your business or brand is new or unheard of, it can feel daunting. It can feel like when when you're going out for a job and they say, oh, it's an entry level job, but you have to have experience. And you're like, okay, I can get the experience if y'all give me the job. It can feel like that weird cycle of like, but it is absolutely possible. It is. You just have to stay the course, believe in yourself, and use what you have to get what you want. So I just watched Queen's Court season 2, and Lisa Ray was on there, and it still holds true today. Use what you got to get what you want. Even if you have one person who will, take your course or use your product and say, it worked for me, and not lying. Like you want people who it actually works for. If you have a hair growth product, you want people to say, I put it on my hair and look at this, all this lusciousness, So be authentic and be true and stay the course, and you will overcome that imposter syndrome. Your life will start to demonstrate that you are practicing what you preach and that you are living the life of your dreams and creating the life of your dreams, and people will start to buy into that authenticity. So I will see y'all next video, and I hope you self-care today. See you next time.